Thank you. First, I wanted to tell you that I saw you in San Francisco in February, and that day was the first time I ever felt the baby kick. Sorry. And then yesterday was just rolling around the whole time, and it's the most I've ever felt the baby move. So the baby's feeling things.
The baby's knowing things and putting emphasis on certain things for you.
Yes, that's very true. Great. So my question, I've been listening to you for a long time, and I had the luck of having parents who helped me find source as the place that I resonated the most. And
oh, good. They were rotten parents, huh?
Oh, no. They were great. But things have just always worked out for me. I've been so lucky and created so much and had gotten to that place of just feeling invincible, super confident, kind of that step 5 place. And so I started playing with more specific creations. And one of those was wanting to have twins. That's always been a dream of mine, and my dad's a twin. It's just something that has always been a desire. And I know there are people who would say, oh, one baby's a miracle, and I feel so grateful for that. But it was just something that I had always dreamed of, and I was at a place where I felt super confident, like I had been, and knew that this was coming. I had felt the energy of it. And my question is really, when I went to the ultrasound and they're like, it's one baby, and I had that moment of disappointment, but had all this contrast that it didn't matter. It was a few minutes, and I was like, it's so interesting. I wonder how and when it will come. But then as it went on, it was kind of like one of those creations that's like a point in time. And I've heard Esther talk about sometimes when you have expectations and they all come to a point in time and then you can't see how it could come about. I think I just got knocked off of this place of invincibility because it was one of the first times where I had really wanted something and wanted to create something.
Well, the important thing that we want to focus with you about here is, so when you think about what you want and why you want it, sometimes you discover that you're getting what you really want when you look at the why of what you want it, when the way you thought you were going to go about it was a little distorted point of view. And so don't try to anticipate anything here. Just let the responses flow from you easily. So what is it about twins that was ringing your bell? What is it about that you like the idea of?
I think abundance, it's kind of magical in my mind. It reminds me of my dad and my cousins who are all twins.
All right, so now get a little deeper in that. What does that mean? Magical in what way?
I think it's something that you can't normally control, so that it would have been like a cool thing that I would have said, I know I created this because...
So you want to show off a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, I was at the point where I was like...
For the benefit of others' response to it.
And for myself to know, wow, I created that.
So what else do the two of them happening at the same time? What else is it about that you like?
Just the idea of instant family, big family.
Yeah? What specifically about the two of them?
That they have a special connection and a relationship.
Yeah,
that's
Don't
true.
need an inner being. They've got each other.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Interesting.
Oh, they have a friend that they can play with. They can develop an early dependency. Humans don't say that because they don't know that that's a detriment, that there's not really a lot of value in that. So what's in your vortex isn't about that. What's in your vortex is about the connection between the physical and the non-physical. As your family comes, you'll feel the soulmatiness of the energies that are coming in. Fortunately, a mother does not have to give birth to all of the soulmates simultaneously, or you would be having litters really big litters.
You're exactly right, though. That's what I'm actually desiring, is that like connection.
So when you focus here a little bit on what you want and why you want it, you discover that everything is always working out for you, and what you really want is happening. And so what we're getting at here, this is the best way of explaining to you the benefit of an experience like this. Everyone who wants something, you not only have an idea of what you want, but you would also like to control how, when, who. You want to control the details of it. And we're not asking you not to want that. We get that life helps you to be discerning, and that a lot of that discernment is what makes you ask for things in the way that you do. But beneath everything that you desire, that you know you want or that you think you want, is another desire, and beneath that is another desire, and beneath that is another desire. And those core desires are what your inner being knows to be. And by core desires, we don't just mean who you were before you came, or who your inner being even is from that vantage point. We mean, as life has happened to you, you have launched lots of rockets of desires by knowing what you don't want and knowing what you do want, and that vibrational reality has become a conclusion of core desires. We want to go further with that word core desires. Here's the easiest way for you to hear that. When you reemerge into non-physical, what you call death, of which there isn't any, when you reemerge into non-physical, releasing this physical apparatus and the whole of you focusing into non-physical, you, in that fell swoop, leave behind all resistance of all kinds, all doubts and fears, all complaints, all personal misgivings, everything. You leave it behind, and you become pure positive energy, and you feel so good. Stay with us. Every time you have a contrasting experience, we have not said this before to anyone, you are giving birth to it right now. Every time you live a contrasting experience, you launch through this portal, if you want to call it, into your vibrational reality, this pure desire that contains no resistance of any kind. Just like when you reemerge into non-physical. That's what we call core desire. Desire that has been honed from the life that you've been living. A process that did exactly what you knew it would do. It helped you to define and ask. And the importance of that asking is so significant that your inner being stands right there amongst it and knows it and revels in it, in each and every part of it, and calls you toward it. So you don't need to ever worry about your true desires not being answered. But sometimes you think you want things for reasons that are not core desires. You get what we're talking about? That makes sense to you? We want that to be impactful to you, because we want you to, first of all, trust what's in your vortex. And we want you also to feel an important part of what's in there. And we want you to know the goodness of who you are and what's in there. And we want you to trust where you're going. And we want you to trust that if you do hear us about your guidance system, and if you do reach for thoughts that feel better so that you consistently feel good, we want you to trust that where that good feeling will lead you is good. Because sometimes people worry, oh, Abraham, you teach deliberate creation, you teach selfishness. And we live in a world that, by our standards, there are already too many self-serving people. And we say there's a difference between being that pure positive energy selfish person that is calling others to love, and that selfish person who's pushing against anything and everything from their disconnected state. Was that helpful?
So I think what you're saying, and this did happen with my relationship, is I thought I wanted a relationship to work out, but ultimately it ended and made room for the perfect relationship, which was the core desire. So I think you're saying there will be a moment where you say, like, this was, my core desire wasn't twins, it was the family connection. I'll have that moment where I feel what I actually wanted.
Yes. Perfect
Okay.
words. Perfect
Okay.
words.
Thank you.
Perfect words.
That's all.
Perfect words. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.